how did you learn to trust that?
Great question. So we're all intuitive. For me, how I share it is it's beginning to notice the themes and the patterns and the signs around you, the imagery. So it's like all of a sudden you're getting those repeated words, repeated phrases. You're overhearing conversations where you're hearing particular words keep coming up. Music, suddenly you're listening to certain music and it's playing through in lyrics. You're watching a TV show and suddenly they start using the word or the phrase, and it's trying to get your attention. And sometimes that's how our intuitive gifts come through. It's about noticing the signs and messages. It's not necessarily seeing it as like a psychic thing. But we do all have access to our feeling, hearing, knowing, and seeing gifts. And it's about seeing and playing, like literally playing with them. So I always say that noticing, like pausing and stopping and noticing is the way forward. Ironically, at the start of 2020, so many people were finding themselves to be way more intuitive because they had stopped, they had paused, they weren't in the usual craziness of life. And so their intuitive gifts actually like skyrocketed. Their dreams, their information, the dream state was coming through. So that's how I'd start beginning to notice, for people to notice. And on a trust level, I think it's about understanding what trust feels like in your body, because for many of us, we don't know what trust feels like in the body with what we've been through in our lives. But it's also, I say, start small. So start small in asking for a sign, asking for a message, and then get bigger. So I always say, as a really great example, like ask for the car parking space. Like actually, when you're driving up to somewhere really busy.
I do that.
Yeah,
Works.
It works.
All of a sudden you got baller parking. Someone pulls out, you pull right in. You're like, what's up?
Exactly. And I've had that in where I think that I've got the space. I'm like, yes. And my guides go, don't you trust us? Like, why don't you drive like that extra like 50 yards and just go to the front of the building? And I've done that and I'm like, oh, there's even more of a better space. Or someone like literally pulls out. And yeah, so start with the small things like car parking spaces and then build into it. But for me, it's part of trusting what feels off in the body. Like again, especially if you're navigating through a situation, a relationship, a person, it's really about honoring how your body feels, because the body is intuitive, and it's an intuitive vessel. And when we honor that and we kind of be open to discover how that flows in, it's really potent.